Well, thanks for selecting this video to watch on Zentangle. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and today's Zentangle Quickie is on the Tangle Twing. And Twing is a Zentangle original tangle coming from the folks at Zentangle. And it's a really neat, it's kind of a bigger size, like border tangle. And this one is a lot of fun. So it starts off with, and I'm using a bijou tile, which is about 2 by 2, and I've decided to use my Micron 01 black pen. And we start this off with a zigzag. So I'm going to start here, and this one, and I suppose you could play with different sizes. I like to make this one big though. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to get pretty much an M, a little bit more than an M or a W here. All right. So it's a zigzag, but it's actually an aura'd zigzag. And if you are new to Zentangle, to aura is essentially to outline. And then I usually decide, well, which direction do I want to do my outline? I kind of feel like it needs to be this way. All right, so there it will be. And so I'm, just a little ways away from the original line. And I do like to turn my tile so that way I can see what I'm auraing. Sometimes, as you can see, then I didn't turn my tile then right when I said it. So there we have it. And actually, let's pretend that would go up right there. All right. Next step is, this one has a lot of auraing in it. So we're going to do a curved line on both sides. A lot of this is, kind of doing the same thing on both sides of the zigzag. And I'm just going to start here because that's where I am. And we're going to put a curved line in, but the curved line is going to curve up towards this point. And I'm going to, let's see, and it also kind of, well, no, that's sort of my, oops, I ended up with a little divot there. That was weird. Okay, we're going to pretend like this goes down here. And then off to this side, which is kind of off. And then going to flip the tile. Same thing. So now on these bottom peaks, we're going to curve and have it aiming up to that top peak there, right? And I like to turn the tile because my hand will go like this and it makes a really nice curve. And, it's one of those things where I don't have to think to be consistent if I'm doing this with my hand. If my hand just naturally goes like this, then I don't even have to think about it. I just have to, put the paper in the right place and go. All right. Then the next step with this one is we're going to essentially aura these curves, and we'll aura those in for sure, because that's the way the tangle goes. So auraing them in and doing the same thing, I do one side, flip, and then do the other side. All right, then this one has curved lines going, through the middle. And they kind of sort of look like they connect. And so you can just start like right here is where I'm going to start, right where I'm at, and sort of in the middle. I'm going to draw one line, and I'm going to go up. And so there's my curved line there. Now this one I'm not going to continue because this one, it kind of like weaves in and out. So I'm flipping my tile because I want to, so where this one is going up, and again, I should have said we're auraing this curve, or thinking the same way where, we're aiming the curve towards that peak. So when I flip the tile, it's the same idea. We're just, we're aiming for that peak. But what I want to do is kind of continue. So it's like here it goes down. And then if I was, if it was to continue, I would probably be about here. And then I'm doing my curved line like that. This is also kind of called the hollow. It's a sort of using the hollow bow technique. So figuring out where this, where this ends, where it would pick up on the other side. This one is a little thicker than that. It's okay. And now I can do this on this side here while I'm at it. And then I'm going to flip it so that way then I'll do this side. And again, it's, kind of where that continued. So it just looks like a wavy line going through there. And then I have this little section right here. And yes, I like to do sound effects sometimes when I'm tangling. Okay. All right. Now, the next step, and on my step out, which is in the description, a link to it, I kind of combined a number of steps. A lot of times I don't like to do it, but I'll blame it on Zentangle. I was caught, we all do our own step outs for these, but I was, looking at the one in our Zenthology, and that's how they did it. So that's how I'm doing it. A lot of times I will change them up if it seems like it's confusing. So the next step is, we're going to start, you pick whichever area you want. And actually, let's say I'm looking, because we're going to put orbs in one half of this. And then the other half are going to be lines. Actually, yeah, I don't know. It was one of those I keep looking and I'm like, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to start here. Sometimes I like to start in the middle. And we're going to do different shaped orbs. It's, that is all up to you. I like to start in the middle because I've coined this phrase for myself that I'm not spontaneously creative. So, and I joke about not an artist here. And, and while I feel that's true, I think some of, what I consider an artist is is that spontaneous creativity. It's like, oh, here, draw this, and whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. There it is. It's drawn. And people that I consider artists, they just do that. And it's a little bit different thought process where, I'm always, oh, am I doing this right? Am I doing? Oh, and then if left up to me, and even though I kind of have done these in a row, the thing that I've been working to not do is have it look contrived, like, oh, I'm doing rows of orbs. So I will on purpose set some, like I did here, some larger orbs around, and even so here. And then I'm filling in around it. And sometimes I'm skipping, from one section to the next. And I found for me that helps. So if you feel like you are in that boat as well, where, just the non-artist, and, give that a try. I think that it definitely helps. And then you end up with a nice variety of things. Cause I look at art, or just, a lot of different things. And I'm like, well, how did you come up with the idea to do this? And I sincerely believe, and I know in my case, it's just a issue of, I think too much about things. I'm just more on a analytical side of life. And so I wonder, well, how did you come up with that? And, and they probably didn't even really think about it so much. They just did. And we're all different, and that's what makes the world beautiful. And I'm gabbing as that's what you do when you're filling in a bunch of orbs. This one is supposed to be a quickie, but when it comes sometimes to doing orbs, it takes a little while. But the beauty of that is that, Zentangle was started as a way to teach meditation through art. And so when you're doing something like this, where you're just filling in orbs, it's just one of those things. If you're looking for a tangle to kind of get lost, and look at one that has a bunch of orbs in it, because then it just gives you an opportunity to slow down, and just not have to think about it too much. Even though, we're placing them strategically, we have a little bit of, we're deliberately putting these orbs here. It's not like doodling, where you're just kind of scribbling aimlessly. We're doing that on purpose there. So now I'm done with my orbs, and now we're going to go from orbs to straight lines. So and actually we're going to add a technique in called the sparkle. And the sparkle is this. So I'm going to start in this nice big section, and I like to start these in the middle. Same idea as with the orbs, just starting in the middle. And so the sparkle is this. So I'm going to draw my straight line, and I'm going to try to have a light touch, and then I just skipped a little space in the middle on purpose. And you can skip a place and put a little dot or two if you want. Depends on how big your your area is. Now, one of the things that I like to do with the sparkle is just kind of have it be in the center. So I've gone, what is this, 3, maybe I'll put 2 on this side. So the rest of them, I'm just going to draw straight. And actually, sometimes what I'll do is I might have put one here, so that way it kind of tapers a little bit. But it's something fun to play with. And it's like adding, well, it's adding that sparkle or that shine in without using a gel pen. So like I said, I'm going to add, let's see, add just that one more. And then the rest. And so I'm trying to have a light touch. Normally I have the death grip, not only on the pen, just holding it, but that then leads you into, pushing down hard on the paper. And so working to have a nice light touch, because then it makes it easier to do those. And then here, same idea, but I'm going to start in the center. And on the smaller sections, I think I'm going to just, maybe put 3 in. So 1 in the center, and then I'm going to turn my tile so that way I can see what I'm doing here. One thing about having the light touch also, it makes it okay that if the lines are a little crooked, because and I don't know why it lends itself to that, but it just does. It's like it's just okay. Versus if you're putting down your pen deliberately and making a deliberate hard stroke. I think I'll do 3 here. And I know I've mentioned it if you've watched any of the other videos, I've mentioned this before, that I just love watching Maria and her light touch. And, it's just like you can just watch almost the pen just bouncing ever so lightly over. Because, if you've never touched like watercolor paper, or the Zentangle tiles are a cotton paper, so they do have a little bit of a texture. And so you can kind of almost feel it in the pen. And it's just, it's just kind of neat. Oh, actually, and so here, I'm just going to put a couple little lines, and then here, same thing, because I'm not going to get to that point. But it's just something, to play with as you're practicing Zentangle. If you have a tight grip, practice, having the light grip and just relaxing, maybe taking a break. And as you get used to it, especially, if you're new, then, it'll loosen up. And I notice even myself, I've tangled for a while, and sometimes it's just like, okay, I have to remind myself, take a breath, loosen up, it's all okay, and it's good. All right, so there we have it. That is Twing. And now to shade it, what I love to do for this one, is this. So I'm going to put some graphite, and I'm using a colorless, it's not colorless. It's a woodless graphite pencil, if you're wondering what it is. Usually I use like a number 2. A lot of times I have like this little golf pencils, and usually we use like I said, a number 2 type of pencil. So I'm putting it on the outside of the zigzags. And all the way down there. Oh, let me get this side. There's always a number of ways that you could shade, because actually as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, it could be interesting to also do this on the outsides of, all of the orid lines, and that might look neat. And so then, with the tortillon, I'm going to just spread this out here into the middle. And I've started in the middle, and I'm working out to both sides. Once you do that for things, I just find that I end up doing that just as a habit, even when I, something that I don't really even need to do like this for shading. And you can kind of see that all of a sudden it's adding some dimension to this tangle, and it's popping up, and it's making it like kind of wavy. That's how I look at it, because we have the the dark pushes stuff down, and the light brings it up, And so we want to make sure that we have some contrast here. So I don't bring the graphite out a whole lot, so that way we have all of this original tile color. And oh, and it just ends up looking really neat. So that is Twing. And like I said, and you could always, there's a number of other things you could do, or you don't even have to shade it at all if you don't want to. That is up to you. It pairs nicely with other tangles. Here's a tile that I did. Actually, this is a white regular size tile, and I used a black pen to color in the background, which was just kind of neat. This was the same class, just decided to do something a little bit different. And then this is in a little book. So this one I didn't do any shading because it's with Jelly Roll markers. What I use gold, and then it's neat kind of teal color, and it's just really neat to do something like that on black. So with that, I hope you enjoyed. Give it a try, and leave me comments if you tried it and liked it. Would love to know. In the description box, besides the step outs, are ways to connect if you so desire, because we have a nice community on Facebook sharing our work and stuff. I also have everything. I don't think I've mentioned this on a Tangle Time. Probably shouldn't. If I have classes, I do have them on my website, so that's probably the best way to go look, because I've been doing some nice some free classes. So maybe you'll join us sometime. All right. And with that, I wish you very happy tangling.